I see some things in the movie and like we're both like,
little bit.
What? Like, what did we? What? Who? You know?
A little bit.
Congrats on this movie, guys. I dug it from start to finish. So much fun. This was a fast shoot. I don't think as fast as The Guilty, but pretty fast. What is the fastest you've ever said yes to a role, and what was it, and why?
It was Trial of the Chicago 7, and I read it, and I'm halfway through, and I'm ready to say, let me speed up. I'm ready to say yes, but I said, you know what? I'm gonna sleep on it, just because it makes sense to go to sleep and wake up and make that call in the morning, and that's what I did. But I wanted to just say yes, because it was Aaron Sorkin, Bobby Seale. The words were great words. And I just, as soon as I started reading it, I said, yeah, this is mine.
All the movies I've ever auditioned for, you're saying yes before you even get it. So that's the fastest.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. The brothers have their calming song, their Christopher Cross. Do you guys have like a playlist that you use like on set, maybe on this set, things you were listening to that kind of got you into the vibe, the mood?
My playlist on this set was a calming play. Yeah, it was a calming playlist, which doesn't help to get you in the mood for the stuff that we're gonna do. It was more so for me just to have my own, my own personal, calm.
I remember a lot of Marvin Gaye, or there's like a lot. Yahya has a more. I sort of rolled with his playlist after a while because he has his phone on and he just presses play in between takes and you just listen to slow jams.
Yeah, but it was never pumping us up though.
Yeah, that's
no, it wasn't
always what I was expecting.
Yeah.
It was always like
you don't need help getting pumped up for this. I mean,
not with Michael Bay. Yeah.
I'm really curious, like how many vehicles were totaled in the making.
So are we actually?
I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna try to get that answer.
There's like, it might be a Guinness Book of World Record.
It has to be. Jake, you were cracking me up at some points in this movie because some of the stuff you were yelling was so out of pocket. And
like what?
I don't even know.
Like what?
I don't know. There was a point where you're like, then it was very like Logan Roy, and I just like loved it. There's some other lines I just don't feel like saying.
Michael Bay has a like real, what is it, penchant for rolling the camera and just throwing lines at you and then you throwing them back. So he'd say something and he'd be like, it's almost like he's sort of dishing things out, and he'll say something and go, I'm not saying that.
Yep.
And like, what about this? Oh, fine, I'll say it. And I say it, and then what about this? And then you work off him and you give him something. Oh, I love that. Oh, I love it. It's a pretty open, free-flowing kind of really wacky process.
And then you go home and you're like, what did I say today?
Sort of like I see some things in the movie and like we're both like,
little bit.
What? Like what did we? What? Who?
A little bit.
What transpires being in like the close quarters of the ambulance? Like I even read at some points you guys were having to operate the camera because it was such a small space.
There's nothing wrong with being in close quarters with this guy.
Oh no, you want something back? No, I'm just listening.
Okay, for anything.
No.
I think that it's funny. It was hard to get your energy up, and it was hard to, at certain points, sort of act in such a small space. I mean, as Yahya has said, if there are 3 actors in that space, it means there are probably 6 people in shooting it. So there were a lot of people kind of squished in, getting knocked around, and a lot of times as we're driving down the street at like 50, 60 miles an hour doing a scene, bumping into things and knocking yourself, I thought to myself, like, what about the people who do a real job in these vehicles? People are saving lives every day. And we think it's hard to act in here, how hard it must be to actually do that job. It just made me think in the middle of the second wave of the pandemic here in Los Angeles, just the incredible work they were doing. And here we were trying to act. It was like pretty huge difference.
Last question, Yahya, we are 1 year away from the return of Black Manta. It feels like a wait, so I just is there anything you can say to tide us over for the next year?
For the next year?
Yeah. Big task.
I wanted to have waves in Aquaman 2, and I didn't get it done because I had hair. But I have waves in ambulance, so
you don't have waves.
Something to look forward to.
In Aquaman, by the way, is a beautiful metaphor.
Yeah. Biggest scoop of my career. Thank you.
I make waves, but I don't have them. But I have them in ambulance, so.